previous session we were learning rational numbers and irrational numbers. We will continue with that. Here, express the following in P by Q form. And they have given this number. From this number, what do we understand? This 0.6 bar represents, it is recurring. How many digits are recurring? This one digit 6 is recurring. It can be written as 0.666, and these three dots represent its infinite. So let us assume, or let us take, let x is equal to 0.666. We need to express this 0.6 bar in the form of P by Q, which is a rational form. Already 0.6 bar is a rational number only because it is recurring. We have seen that rational numbers are non-terminating or terminating, but they are also recurring. So here we need to represent 0.6 bar in the form of P by Q. Let x is equal to 0.66. Do not forget to write dots to show that it is recurring. Now what we do is multiply on both the sides by 10. Since there is only one digit which is recurring, we are multiplying with 10. If two digits are recurring, like what you see in the second problem, we will multiply with 100 on both the sides. On both sides. What do we get? 10x is equal to, when we multiply 0.66 by 10, what happens to the decimal point? It gets shifted by one digit. So it is 6.666 and it recurs. Now what do? We take the 6.66. We want to express this number in terms of x because we need to get the x value in P by Q form. So we want to express this number in terms of x. How do we do this? 6.666 minus x value. So what do we get? 6.00, which is nothing but 6. We can write 6.66 as 6 plus 0.66. This is nothing but, we have taken 0.6 as what? X value. So 6 plus x. This is 10x is equal. Left hand side we have 10x. We will bring x to the left hand side. 10x minus x is equal to 6. 10x minus x is 9x is equal to 6. X is equal to 6 divided by 9, which is nothing but 2 by 3. So what was the x value before? When we started it was 0.66, that is 0.6 bar. Now we have got the x value as 2 by 3, which is nothing but P by Q form, where Q is not equal to 0. Now we will see the next problem where it is given as 0.235 bar, and this bar, if you see, it is not for all the three digits, it's only for the two digits 3 and 5. What does it mean? 3, 5 is recurring. This can be written as 0.235 because it repeats 3, 5 dots. So to say that it is infinite, we will take let x is equal to 0.235. Just like the method will be the same. The only thing is two digits are recurring. Therefore, we will multiply by 100. 100x is equal to, when we multiply this decimal number by 100, there are two zeros. So decimal point gets shifted by two digits. 23 point, the decimal point is getting shifted. 535 dots. And now the next step will be, we need to express this number in terms of x. So what do? 23.535 minus x value 0.235. 35 this side it will be 0. 5 minus 2 is 3. 23.3. So now we can express this number as 23.3 plus x. and on the left hand side we have 100x. So bring this x to the left hand side. 100x minus x is equal to 23.3. 100x minus x is 99x is equal to 23.3 can be written. We will eliminate the decimal point. How do we eliminate the decimal point? By multiplying 10 numerator and the denominator by 10. So what do we get? 233 by 10. Now x is equal to 233 by 10. We will bring 99 to denominator. Therefore x is equal to 233 by 990. We started the x value as 0.23535 which was recurring, and now we have ended up with one rational number in p by q form, which is 233 by 990. Okay children, we will go to the next set of problems. Here what do we see here? Visualize 4.26 bar on the number line up to 4 decimal places. What does this number signify? It is a 2 digits are recurring, so it is a rational number because it's recurring, and it is also non-terminating. When we say it's recurring, they are non-terminating. That is, they do not stop. The division do not stop. The decimal expansion do not stop. We have seen that all the rational numbers and irrational numbers, they are called as real numbers, and where do they lie on the number line? Do they lie on the number line within the natural numbers and whole numbers and integers? Yes, they do. So how do we represent 4.26 bar on the number line? When they say visualize, we will zoom in and see where exactly they lie on the number line. So first we draw the number line. So here we have 0 and the positive numbers here 1, 2, 3, and on the left hand side we have negative numbers. So where is 4.26 can be written as? 4.26 bar can be written as 4.26. 2 digits are recurring, so 4.2626, and then how many decimal places? 4 decimal places. We need 4 decimal places. So we will not take the next digits. We will take only the 4 digits after the decimal point. So we need to represent this number on the number line. So this is what is our number line is. Where is 4.26? It will be somewhere between 4 and 5. So this number, you just consider the first digit after the decimal point, that is 2, 4.2. 4.2 should be somewhere between 4 and 5. So therefore we need to zoom in only this part. So now our boundaries or the limits will be 4 and 5. So what will be the midpoint? 4 plus 5 by 2, which is 4.5. 4.5. So the mid value will be 4.5. How do we get 4.5? 4 plus 5 by 2. We got the midpoint. Now here there are 4 divisions, and here 4 divisions. So totally there are 10, right? Between 4 to 5 we are taking 10 divisions. On the number line it is 10 divisions. So the midpoint, always try to get the midpoint first. Now where is 4.2 lying? 4.5 is here. So to the left hand side 4.2 will be there. That is, this is 4.1, 4.2, 4.3, 4.4. Write down all the values. 4.7, 4.8, 4.9. So where is 4.2? 4.2 is here. 4.26, we will go to the next digit now. Here is 4.6, 4.2, we'll go to the next digit, that is 4.26. Where will that lie? Between 4.2 and 4.3. So our next number line, the limits will be 4.2 and 4.3. We are here, right? So we will have to zoom in only this part of the number line. Now what is the mid value? The midpoint for this number line where the limits are 4.2 and 4.3. 4.2 plus 4.3 is 8.5 divided by 2, which is 8.5 divided by 2 will give you 4.25. So our mid value will be 4.25. Now draw the markings. 4 on the left hand side and 4 on the right hand side. Because we know the limits 4.2. The fifth point we know. The starting point and the ending point we know as 4.2 and 4.3. So the other division, 8 divisions are here. So this will be 4.21, 4.22, 4.23, 4.24. And this will be 4.26, 4.27, 4.28 and 4.29. Where is 4.26 lying now? We see that it is on the right hand side of the 4.25, which is here. So 4.26 is here. We will go to the third digit, 4.262. So 262 should be between 4.26 and 4.27. So our next number line will be, will have the limits 4.26 and 4.27 and 4.27. Get the mid value. How do we get the mid value? 4.26 plus 4.27. 8.53 divided by 2 will give 4.265. So our number line is here. And the limits will be 4.265 is the midpoint. And what is our limits here? On the both the ends, 4.26 and 4.27. And the mid value will be 4.265. Make the markings, 4 markings on both the sides. So we start here 4.261, 4.262, 4.263, 4.264, and the fifth 4.265 will be the midpoint. 4.266, 4.267, 268, 4.269. What is the number we need? 4.2626. Where is that? 4.262 is here and 263 is here. So 2626 will be, we will go to the fourth decimal point. Fourth decimal place here. We have got till 262. 262 is here. Where is the fourth decimal point? It should come between 4.262 and 4.263. Here. We'll have to zoom in only this part of the number line. So now the next number line with the limits will be with the limits will be 4.262. Here, this one, left hand side, and the right hand side will be 4.263. What is the midpoint here? 4 point, draw 4 markings. We can write 4.2621, 4.2622, 4.2623. Why? We can also verify. So 8.525 divided by 2 is 4.2625. So here we are getting it as 4.2625. Here we will continue writing 4.2624, and we have got the mid value correctly. 4.2625, 4.2626, 4.2627, 2628, and this is 4.2629. And what is the number that we wanted to get it on the number line? 4.2626, and here it is 4.2626. So that is the number 4.26 bar on the number line. Where is it? Here. This is the exact position of that particular number on the number line. So here I have shown you how to get how to get the position of the rational number which is recurring on the number line. We don't have to find the mid value always. We can continuously write. This is just for the verification purpose that we have done the right job. Okay. So even here 4.265, 4.2625. If you get the mid value, it's easy to write the digits. 2621. It's easy, but you don't have to find the mid value always. So visualize, when we say, it's actually zooming in the position of this rational number on the number line. We will move on to the irrational numbers now. We have seen all the operations on rational numbers. We will move on to irrational. Root 2 is an example for irrational number. Represent root 2 on the number line. How do we represent this number on the number line? We have seen that all the real numbers lie on the number line. We have seen the rational numbers, how they lie on the number line. We will see how irrational numbers are represented on the number line. Consider a square of length of a unit length. When we say unit length, it is 1 units. 1 centimeter or 1 meter, 1 unit. Here we will consider it as 1 centimeter. This is a square, so all the sides are equal. Join the diagonal here. So now, what is the angle? In a square, all the angles are 90 degree. So what about ABC? ABCD is a square. ABC is a right angle to triangle because the angle in a square is 90 degree. So consider only this triangle. The sides are 1 unit. We don't know this length, but this is 90 degree. The side which is opposite to 90 degree is called as hypotenuse. But we also know that by Pythagoras theorem, what does the Pythagoras theorem say? In a right angle triangle, the square of the hypotenuse is equal to sum of the squares of the other two sides. That is AC, the sum of the square of the hypotenuse, AC square. Right, hypotenuse is AC here, the side which is opposite to 90 degree. AC square is equal to AB square, the sum of the squares of the other two sides. AB square plus BC square. What is AB square? What is the length of the AB? 1 unit. So 1 square plus what is BC? It is 1 square. 1 square is again 1 into 1, 1 plus 1 into 1, 1, which is 1 plus 1, 2. What is on the left hand side? AC square. How do we get the value of AC? By taking the square root of 2. How can we eliminate the square? By taking the square root on the right hand side. So what is AC? The length of AC. The length of AC is root 2. So if you bring this right angle triangle on the number line, we will get the root 2 on the number line. We will see that how. How can that be done? Draw a line. Draw a line and mark O here. and then take a length of 1 centimeter on your ruler, 1 centimeter, and let this be 1 centimeter, and mark it as A, and this is 1. Mark it as 1 centimeter. And from this point, with your protractor, draw 90-degree line. And should measure 90 degree. And take a compass and measure 1 centimeter on the ruler, and then cut an arc here. So since this is 1, I will also take the here as a, with a compass I will take 1 centimeter and cut an arc on this line to measure 1 centimeter here also, right? Because we are trying to get this right angle triangle on the number line here. So join this line. So when this is 1 centimeter, OA is 1 centimeter, and we will mark this point as B. AB is 1 centimeter. What about OB? It must be root 2, right? As per Pythagoras theorem. So take a compass, measure OB as a radius. If we measure in the compass, if you measure OB as a radius and draw an arc to intersect the line, this is a line here, you can call it as MN. Draw a line measure, take OB as a radius and draw an arc on the number line. Let it intersect here at C. Now what happens is that this is root 2. This is root 2. Root 2, what we have seen is OB is root 2. On the number line, where does it intersect? When you take a compass and with the radius as OB, you cut an arc to intersect the number line. This point will give you the value of root 2 on the number line. And we have seen that. So when we say root 2 is this point, what is the value of root 2? It is somewhere around 1.4. So if you measure from 0 to A will be 1 centimeter, and here this will be 0.4 centimeter. This will be 1.5, and here it is 2 if it is. So it should be somewhere around 1.4. Then it is correct. Okay. So now we will summarize what we have done the construction. What do? Draw a line. Draw a line MN and mark O. From O, let OA is equal to 1 centimeter. Let OA is 1 centimeter. At A, we will draw perpendicular line, that is BA, perpendicular to OC. ON, we have not got the point C. ON. So this is the perpendicular line. We have OA and B. Now the third step was to join OB. And OB, what is the length of the OB? It is root 2. With OB as a radius, draw an arc from B. Draw an arc from B to C, intersecting the number line. Intersecting the number line. Therefore, point C is root 2 on number line. Okay children, this is clear now? How we got the irrational number on the number line. So similarly you can get for root 3, root 5. We will apply the Pythagoras theorem. How do we get root 3 and root 5? Similar way. This is root 2. This is root 2, right? This is 1, 1 and this is root 2. From this point, take another perpendicular line. So have a protractor here. At this point you can call it B, O, A. From B you take 90 degrees, cut an arc at 1 centimeter and then join this. What happens? Mark it D. What is OD? OD will be root 3. OD will be root 3, right? From here, with OD as a radius, if you cut an arc on the number line, to intersect on the number line, this OE will be root 3. This point will give you root 3. How? On the right angle triangle, if this is 1 and 1 units, this is root 2. When we take another right angle here with 1 unit, how do we get the value of the hypotenuse? That is, OD square will be equal to, this is OB square plus BD square. OB square is root 2 the whole square plus BD square is 1 square. So we know that root 2, when we square it, square and the square root gets cancelled, is 2 plus 1. Therefore, OD will be square root of 2 plus 1 is 3. Therefore, OD is root 3. Okay, children? So we have seen the irrational number on the number line. How do we construct? Now we will see, this is also an irrational number, but it is a decimal number, decimal inside the root, 9.3. Square root of 9.3 on the number line. How can we represent? For this, draw a line segment AB measuring 9.3 centimeter. Because we want 9.3, so mark AB and draw a line segment AB measuring 9.3 centimeter from point B. Take another 1 centimeter and mark it C. This is 1 centimeter and mark it C. Now for AC, find the midpoint. How do we find the midpoint? In the compass we can take from the point A, measure more than half, cut an arc, and from point C, more than half, cut an arc. So when you join, you will get the midpoint as midpoint here, and you can name it as O. So for point O, with OC as a radius, with center O and OC as a radius, OC is here, OC as a radius, draw a semicircle which will intersect A and C, right? Because we are drawing a semicircle with center O and OC as a radius. So you get a semicircle like this. From point B, draw a perpendicular line to intersect the semicircle and call this point D. Now, to join here, so what is BD? This BD length will be 9.3, root 9.3. Now with BD as the radius, draw an arc from point D to intersect the number line at point E, and this will be, this point will show you root 9.3, right? 9.3 on the number line. And you don't have to join OD here, not required. Now what are the steps to represent root 9.3 on the number line? So what do we first draw the line segment, whatever is asked, take that measurement, draw the line segment AB 9.3 centimeter and then extend from point B, one unit, 1 centimeter, and mark it C, and with O as a center, first get the midpoint of AC. How do we get the midpoint of AC? Maybe I will write the steps here. Line segment AB is equal to 9.3 centimeter. From B, extend 1 centimeter to C, the point C. This is second step. Third step will be get the midpoint. Get the midpoint of AC at O. Now, with O as center and OC as a radius, we will draw a semicircle. Draw a semicircle. After we draw the semicircle, what did we do? We will draw a perpendicular line from point B. Draw BD perpendicular to line AC. Line AC, right? To intersect semicircle at point, where does it intersect? At D. To intersect semicircle at point D. With BD as a radius, draw an arc passing through D to line AC. Draw an arc to intersect line AC at E. So what is it? Point E shows you the number root 9.3 on the number line. Therefore, at E lies root 9.3. So follow the steps and complete the notes. We have seen addition, subtraction, multiplication, division of rational numbers in the earlier classes. Here we will see those 4 operations for irrational numbers. Here. So for example, you consider root 2, root 3. We know the variables x and y. Treat them like x and y itself so that it's easy to do the operations like addition and subtraction. Root 2, what is inside the number, what is inside the square root? We just verify that. That should be equal. Here it is square root 2 and square root 3. So you should consider them as 2 different numbers. You cannot add. Can we add x plus y and write it as xy? No. They are unlike terms. So root 2, root 3 will be unlike term. Here you need to understand that what is inside the root. For example, root 5, root 6, 2 root 6. Here root 5 and root 6 are unlike terms. And what about root 6 and 2 root 6? What is the coefficient of root 6 here? 2. So they become, but inside the root it is the same number. Therefore they are like terms. We can add them. How do we add them? We add their coefficients. Here when we say root 6, outside it is 1. And here for 2 root 6, what is the coefficient? 2. And so we add 1 and 2, 3. It becomes 3 root 6. We cannot add root 5 with this, so we will just write root 5 plus 3 root 6. So we should understand which are the like terms and the unlike terms. So we will go to the problem. First problem, 3 plus root 3. When we say 3 plus root 3, they are unlike terms. 2 plus root 2, they are unlike terms. When we multiply the unlike terms, what happens? We will take, this is we have learned distributive property, right? A plus B into B, C plus D. What do? We take each term and multiply all the terms on the other side. We take 2, multiply with this part, that is 2 into 3, 6, 2 into root 3, plus and plus, 2 into root 3 will be 2 root 3. Take 2, multiply with 3, that is 2 6. 2 into root 3 will be 2 root 3, and then take root 2 and 3. The sign is plus. Root 2 into 3 will be 3 root 2. Root 2 into root 3 will be 3 into 2, 6. Here, for example, we have seen root 2 plus root 3, what happens? These two are like terms, we added the coefficients. Instead of plus, if it is into, here root 2 into root 3. What happens is we will have to multiply the numbers which are inside the root. 2 into 3, 6. Here, so same as rational numbers, for multiplication, unlike terms can also be multiplied. Plus into plus. Only for addition and subtraction, unlike terms cannot be added or subtracted. But whereas unlike terms for multiplication, we can multiply the numbers inside the root. Here 2 into 1 is 2, and within the root what do? 3 into 2, 6. In general, what we can write? Root A into root B is equal to, retain the root, we can multiply the numbers inside the root, which is AB. That is what we have done here. Whereas root A plus root B, we cannot add because they are different. We will write it as root A plus root B itself. Even for subtraction, it's the same. If it was minus here, the answer here will be minus itself. Whereas root A divided by root B is, it comes in the same one square root, A divided by B. So unlike terms can be multiplied and divided, whereas it cannot be added and subtracted. Only like terms can be added and subtracted. Here do we see any like terms? 6, it's a whole number, 2 root 3, 3 root 2 and root 6. There are no like terms, so we will leave it here itself. We cannot simplify further. Here 3 plus root 3 and 3 minus root 3. This is in the form of A plus B into A minus B. So what does this identity say? Which is A square minus B square. Here you consider this as A, 3 as A and root 3 as B. What happens? A square is 3 square minus what is B? Root 3. Root 3 the whole square. 3 square is 9 minus, whenever we square the square roots, they get cancelled. 9 minus 3 is 6. Why is square root of 3, when we square it, it is cancelled? Because square root in general, square root of A, the whole square is getting cancelled here, because this is nothing but A to the power of half. Whenever we say square root, it is A to the power of half, and when we square, the whole thing is squared. We multiply by law of exponents, A into 1 by 2 into 2. 2 gets cancelled, we are left with A. Here, root 5 and root 2, they are two different numbers. So, it is in the form of A plus B the whole square, which says A square plus B square plus 2AB. We will use this identity and expand this. Root 5 the whole square. What is B square? Here, root 2 the whole square plus 2 into A is root 5. B is root 2. What is root 5 the whole square? Square root and 2 gets cancelled. Here root 2 the whole square also, square root and 2 gets cancelled. We are left with 5 plus 2 plus 2 into, can we multiply root 5 and root 2? We can do it, though they are unlike terms. So we will retain the square root. 5 into 2, 10. 5 plus 2 is 7 plus 2 root 10. With irrational numbers, we have a concept called as rationalize. What do you mean by the term rationalize? The irrational number, we are going to rationalize it because it is easy to represent it on the number line. We have seen how root 2, root 3 can be represented. When we have a number like this, 1 by root 2, this is difficult to represent it on the number line. If the irrational number is on the numerator, if it is root 2, just root 2, we know how to represent that on the number line. 1 by root 2 is difficult to represent. So what we do is we rationalize this. How do we rationalize this? Multiply and divide by root 2. What happens to this number now? Numerator becomes root 2 into 1, root 2, and denominator root 2 into root 2. Root gets cancelled and we get 2. So what do we do actually? We have converted the irrational denominator to a rational denominator. So this is nothing but half of root 2, right? Root 2 by 2 is nothing but half of root 2. So on the number line we can represent this easily. Therefore we rationalize the denominators if you have an irrational number on the denominator. For example, 1 by root 7 minus root 6. In any mathematical calculations, if the result is in this form, that is the denominator if you have the roots, they are called as irrational roots, irrational denominators. So we have to rationalize this denominator. How do we rationalize? We have seen 1 by root a can be rationalized as multiplied and divided by root a itself. Here we have minus sign in between. So what do? We have to change this minus to plus. Root 7 plus root 6. We will multiply and divide by its okay. So numerator we will multiply with 1. What happens? Root 7 plus root 6. Root 7 plus root 6 into 1 is the same. What happens to the denominator? Root 7 minus root 6 into root 7 plus root 6 is in the form of a minus b into a plus b. Therefore a minus b into a plus b is a square minus b square. So root 7 minus root 6, root 7 plus root 6. The numerator is retained. Here a minus b into a plus b gives you a square root 7 the whole square minus b square root 6 the whole square. So we know square and the square root gets cancelled. We are left with root 7 plus root 6 on the numerator. 7 minus 6 is 1. So we have changed. What we have done, rationalizes, we have removed the irrational number on the denominator. So now in the denominator we have only 1. So that is nothing but root 7 plus root 6. So now we have rationalized. Okay children, we will end the session with this. We will continue in the next session.